Hello. So, the NATO summit. It happened. To be honest, I've been looking for stuff to react to about it. Obviously, the big news out of it is that NATO agreed to boost their defense spending to 5% of GDP. Cool. I mean, the only thing interesting about that, I mean, I guess it's interesting, but what's interesting about that is it seems like it's kind of, that's what Trump had wanted NATO to do. And it also seems like a lot of Europeans want to do that anyway. So it was, for once, it was like they agreed. They're like, you know what? Yeah, let's boost our defense so that we're less reliant on you, Trump. And also Trump is like, yeah, you know, he calls it a big win because, I mean, Trump always views everything as a deal, like a negotiation. So it's kind of like, oh, yeah, finally we're getting our money's worth, you know, being in NATO. Because that's what it's about. It's about money. Anyway, there was no brawl or anything. You know, I thought Macron and Trump might fight. Didn't happen. But I did find a couple clips that I'm very interested in reacting to. Mainly him doing this interview with the Secretary General Mark Rutte, who I was looking into him, you know, previous Prime Minister of the Netherlands for 10 years. Okay, now he leads NATO. Got it. You know, I probably should have known that. Now I do. Hopefully I'm saying that name right. Mark Rutte. And then I've got something. This headline really got me. He says, Europe's biggest enemy is not Russia. This is Hungary's Orban. Then who is it? I'm trying to think. Who is it? It's not Russia. Europe's biggest enemy is not. Then what is it? Like, should I don't know. I want to make a prediction. What is he going to say? China? That seems kind of weird. Anyway, I don't know. Man. I'll hear him out. Let's see. Okay, let's do it.
Wish you the planes?
They travel.
Yeah.
They have better seats than I do.
Okay. I like that laugh.
Shorter.
Okay.
Like,
because Selena Gomez said that she wants to cut your hair.
yeah.
Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that, but
What do you think of
sounds like something she'd say. I like that laugh.
Anyway,
They have better seats than I do.
I like that laugh.
Say no.
About your goals for NATO and Article 5 today.
We're with them all the way. I mean, if you take a look at the
That was another big moment. I saw that headline.
numbers, we're with them, and they have very big things to announce today. I don't know if you've taken the vote or you're going to take the vote, but I've been asking them to go up to 5% for a number of years, and they're going up to 5%, and that's a big, from 2%. And a lot of people didn't even pay the 2%. So I think that's going to be very big news. NATO is going to become very strong with us, and I appreciate doing it. Perhaps you want to talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me first, before I go to the spending, I just want.
What's kind of ironic about that, I always think it's a little bit ironic. It's like, okay, I see Trump's point. It's kind of like, okay, he doesn't want to feel used. Like, oh, this alliance is just everybody getting American defense for free. But at the same time, he has to realize, surely he realizes that everybody relying on American defense is a very powerful position for us to be in. So giving that, I mean, whatever. I don't know. I think it's fine.
To
Cool.
recognize your decisive action on.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I'm not like trying to make sure America is the forever superpower over the entire world, but I would have thought Trump would be.
Before I go to the spending, I just want to recognize your decisive action on Iran.
Thank you.
You are a
Okay.
man of strength, but you're also a man of peace. And the fact that you.
Definitely the most peaceful thing I've ever seen. I'm being a little bit facetious, but it is interesting. It's an interesting argument. All I understand, you know, I mean, it's kind of like the atomic bombs in Japan, you know. On one hand, the most devastating attack of all time. On the other hand, it did end the war. So it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe George Orwell was right, you know, war is peace.
You are now also successful in getting this ceasefire done between Israel and Iran. I really want to commend you for that.
Thank you very much.
And I think this is important for the whole world. Then on spending, it's absolutely true. I want to state here, without President Trump, this would not have happened. In 3 stages. When you became president in 2016, 2017, you forced Europeans and Canadians to pay more. At this moment, the result of that phase is 1 trillion extra aggregate defense spending by the Canadians and the Europeans. Then came phase 2, when you became president.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't really enjoy hearing people blow smoke up Trump's butt, even if what he's saying is true. I just don't really enjoy it. But you know, I guess you got to do what you got to do.
January last year. Phase 2 is that all the countries not yet on 2% have now committed to the 2%. This is the old goal from Wales in 2014. 7 were not on 2%. Some were saying somewhere in the 2030s. Now this year, all of them, including Canada, including Italy, including Belgium, they have all now committed to the 2%. And now comes the big splash. Today, we will decide to go to 5%. We have to keep ourselves safe from our adversaries, but also because it is fair to equalize with the United States. With this 5%, the Europeans and the Canadians will equalize their defense spending with the United States. So this is not about American taxpayers paying more. This is about Europeans, Canadians
European taxpayers paying more.
paying more. And again, this
I feel like that is not a message that the Europeans love to hear. I don't know. Maybe you do. I don't know. You tell me.
would not have happened. I'm really saying this here, and some people might criticize me, but then
The only thing about it that's like kind of funny is I'm not. Trust me, I'm far the furthest thing from an expert on any of this. But if they had agreed about 2%, if we over here in America decided to do 5% of GDP, which is it seems really high, isn't that kind of our prerogative? Like you can't just be like, hey, we're spending 5%, so you need to bump it up. Because they could just be like, well, I guess cut your spending. You know, like cut it down to 2%.
when I speak with them, they all say, yes, you're right. This would not have happened if you would not have been elected in 2016 and re-elected last year and back into office in January. So I want to thank you.
Well, thank you very much. It's a great victory for everybody, I think. And we will be equalized very shortly, and that's the way it has to be. It's going to be a lot of money, too, a lot of defense.
It's trillions extra.
Yeah, and we have a great relationship, and we've had a great relationship from the beginning.
I mean, I guess, I like NATO, you know, I'm a fan of NATO. So, from that perspective of just like NATO's strength, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that it's going to be an absolute titan. You know what I mean? You really can't mess with NATO. if the EU and, you know, all the NATO nations are spending 5%. Yeah, you shouldn't mess with NATO.
Highly respected man, and yeah, we appreciate you being here too, everybody. We really do. We have a tremendous group of people on my left and a tremendous group of people on my right. They might be even better than my people. I don't know. Let's have a fight. Let's figure it out. Anyway, but we appreciate it, and we've had a tremendous relationship, Mark and I, and we've really worked on this subject for a long time. And when Biden was here, it just died. It just died like everything else died. And now it's you're going to take, I guess, a vote today, right?
Absolutely. Today we will decide unanimously to do this. That's my absolute conviction.
So we can't.
And that's what it was, right? It was unanimous.
We can't talk about it until the
That
vote's
surprised me.
taken, because sometimes, you know, strange things happen with those. But I think you're going to.
I'm not too worried.
I think you're going to do very well. Everyone's very happy about it. Go ahead. Yes.
Mr. President, how is the Iran-Israel ceasefire going, in your opinion?
I think very good. I think very good. Israel came back yesterday. I was so proud of them because they came back. You know, they went out because they felt there was a violation, and technically they were right, but it just wouldn't have worked out very well. And they brought the planes back. They had gone on to another journey because there was a little bit of a violation, and I said, you got to get them back.
It is, I mean, you have to admit it is kind of funny, the power that Trump has with just a tweet. He tweets out, bring those planes back, and they did.
And they came back, and it was a great thing.
He said, you're not going to make me look like a total dumbass today. Not today. Bring the planes back, okay, guys? God damn it. All right, now, who's the biggest enemy according to Hungary? I just want to, I mean, Interesting question.
Are we moving to 5% from Hungary's point of view? If so, is this a banana
What do you mean? From yes, you are, I guess. What kind of question is that?
level to deter Russian aggression? And is NATO creating more problems in its relations?
Too long. The question is too long. Sorry. Come back to the 5%. Yeah. With one precondition. So we are able to do it. It's not easy, but the whole calculation of budget regulation of European Union must be changed.
That's a big ask. That's why it's kind of surprising to me. It's like going from 2 to 5% of GDP. That's huge.
It's not easy, but the whole calculation of budget regulation of European Union must be changed. So if we keep the regulation as it is, nobody in the European Union is able to fulfill 5%, whatever they say. So we have to recalculate everything in a different method. In that case, we can do.
Aren't you fiddling the figures?
Okay.
Sorry?
Aren't you fiddling the figures? Creative accounting.
You like it?
What do you say?
Creative accounting.
You like it?
You're lucky.
Mr. Orban, Mr. Orban,
Is that a threat? What does he mean you're lucky? You're lucky everybody's here? Or else what?
isn't it concerning that our global
You're lucky there's witnesses right now.
security depends on one man's ego, Donald Trump's?
I don't think so. The international order is more based on common sense. And the President of the United States is a man of the common sense. As you have seen just recently, to manage the conflict between Iran and Israel. So he's the man of common sense. Which means,
You definitely got a tough guy persona, huh?
which means that the new wars getting shorter and the old wars are running out of the fuel, which is the consequence of his activity. Sorry.
He's putting the biggest threat to Europe. He's putting the biggest threat to
Oh,
Europe.
here we go.
Biggest threat to Europe?
I just realized maybe he's going to say, no, Europe is the biggest threat to Europe.
Losing the competitiveness. That's the real threat, not the real threat is not security-wise, it's economic and losing our competitiveness on the global trade. That's our problem.
I think that almost, give me half a point for saying, Europe is the real threat to Europe. He's saying, okay, Europe needs to stay competitive. All right.
That Russia will be mentioned.
Donald Trump's leadership towards
That was a little bit of a clickbait title, let's be honest, okay.
NATO.
Sorry?
What do you think of Donald Trump's leadership?
Welcome back.
Do you think he deserves as much credit as Mark Rutte gave him in his private text messages yesterday?
Styles are different in many countries.
Mr. Prime Minister,
do you expect Russia to be mentioned?
Sorry.
Do you expect that Russia will be mentioned as a threat or an adversary in a final stated after this summit?
It's always mentioned like that.
Do you support it?
Is Hungary, I guess Hungary's in NATO. I know some countries attend this summit that are not in NATO. Well, I guess he already answered, never mind. That's obvious based on the 5% question. So Hungary's in NATO, I didn't know that.
I think Russia is not strong enough to represent a real threat to us. We are far stronger.
I mean, I think there's truth to that. Especially, I mean, when we're talking about NATO and we get that confirmation, of course, America is in NATO, None of the bullshit Trump was saying to try and undermine that, America and Europe and all of NATO, yeah, of course, stronger than Russia.
Blocking like you always do. Why aren't you blocking like you always do?
Blocking what? No, we don't block it.
Sorry, what?
Why aren't you blocking like you always do? Why aren't you blocking like you always do?
Blocking what? No, we don't block it.
Are you happy that President Zelensky is being kept on the sidelines this time and there's no talk of Ukraine membership for NATO?
NATO has no business in Ukraine. Ukraine is not member of NATO, neither Russia. And my job is to keep it as it is.
My job is to keep it as it is. Wow. I don't know the implications of that, Forgive me, I'm woefully ignorant about the politics of Hungary. Seems pretty conservative to me. Losing competitiveness on the global stage is the real threat. Epic answer. I love this man. This guy's got a little bit of a Trump vibe to him, doesn't he? You know, he's got the answers. He's got the quips that, you know, half the people really love. I'm guessing half of people hate him. Okay. All right. Got it. There we go. Interesting. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.